Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking a deeply moving story today, one that's been capturing a lot of hearts recently. It's a story all about family, about heavy cultural expectations, and ultimately about shattering some deeply ingrained norms. We're going to be exploring this concept of Sahara. Now that translates to support or pillar, and we'll see how one family's journey completely redefines what it actually means to be the foundation of a household. Let's just dive right in. So let's start by challenging a pretty massive assumption right off the bat. Who actually becomes a family's ultimate pillar of strength? You know, in a lot of traditional societies, it's just this unquestioned belief that the son is going to be the eventual provider. He's the financial safety net, the true Sahara for his aging parents. But as we're about to see, reality can sometimes turn those long-held assumptions completely upside down. Section 1. The myth of the heir. Expectations versus reality.
Right from the start, the birth of twin daughters, Zainab and Iman, was actually met with disappointment. Their parents desperately wanted a son to be that future provider. And growing up under the exact same roof, the worlds these kids lived in couldn't have been more different. The son, Asim, he's groomed for success from day one. We're talking toy cars, private education, crisp school uniforms, and constant praise. Meanwhile, the twin daughters are explicitly told their future is just handi roti, basically cooking and chores. They're actively denied formal schooling, completely sidelined, just so every single resource can be poured into their brother.
But here is where we get our first glimpse of their sheer potential. Despite being kept out of the classroom, Zainab and Iman were incredibly resilient. Since their parents had given them religious Quranic teachings, the girls actually used that foundational knowledge of the Arabic script to teach themselves how to read Urdu, literally secretly reading their brother's discarded textbooks. I mean, it just perfectly shows that their drive and intellect were always there, right? Just waiting for a chance. Moving on to Section 2, a father's ultimate sacrifice, betting everything on the son. Okay, so when Hassan passes his intermediate exams, the father makes this truly monumental decision. And it really captures the staggering weight of patriarchal expectations. He decides to gamble the family's entire financial future on sending his son to the city for university. He literally liquidates everything, sells off all the livestock, empties his life savings, he even sells the last piece of ancestral land, a plot he had specifically saved to help pay for his daughter's future weddings. He completely strips away his daughter's only safety net to give his son a shot at city life, absolutely convinced this investment is going to pay off for all of them.
Which brings us to Section 3, the betrayal in the city, a 5-year silence.
So the son heads off to the city, making all these promises about coming back as a successful officer to lift his family out of poverty. But that return on investment? It never happens. Day one, there are tears of hopeful anticipation. But over 5 agonizing years, that hope just completely morphs into despair. The son stops visiting, then he stops calling. The parents lose their wealth, their health starts failing under the stress of severe poverty, and they are basically left in total neglect. And then, the ultimate betrayal lands with just one single phone call. When the desperate parents finally get Hassan on the phone, he casually dismisses the very people who gave up everything for him. He tells them he's very busy, says it's not necessary to call all the time, and casually drops that he's secretly gotten married in the city. Then he just abruptly hangs up so he can rush off to a party with his new wife. Just like that, the supposed Sahara completely collapses.
This takes us to a massive turning point in our explainer. Section 4. The daughters take charge, stepping up in crisis.
With their father falling severely ill and the house literally out of food, Zainab and Iman realize it's up to them to save the family. So what do? Well, they leverage the one skill they have, making absolutely incredible food. They remember this one time they cooked a massive 10-kilogram batch of biryani to save a friend's wedding feast, so they take action. First, they secretly sell their only valuables, their 24-karat gold earrings and chains. Next, they somehow convince their deeply traditional parents to let them work. Then, they buy supplies and cook up their very first deg, which is a large cauldron of biryani. And finally, they bravely set up a street food stall.
Now here is a truly beautiful moment of grace. The daughters don't use their first profits to buy anything for themselves. No, they take their very first day's earnings, march straight down to the medical store, and buy medicine for the father who used to consider them nothing more than a burden. They are already stepping up as the family's true support.
Section 5. The taste of success. From street stall to city contract. Okay, Their street stall is an absolute runaway smash hit. They sell out in just 2 hours, and it catches the attention of a major corporate contractor. I really want this number to sink in for a second. 12. That is the massive number of degs, those giant cauldrons of biryani, that this contractor starts ordering from the sisters every single day to supply his city restaurants. It's just an amazing testament to their talent and their crazy work ethic.
And this isn't just an order for food, it is a full-on relocation package. The company offers them this massive daily contract, provides full housing in the city, and covers all their expenses. This incredible opportunity means Zainab and Iman are taking their first ever flight, and they're bringing their aging parents right along with them to start a totally new life.
Through sheer grit and determination, that corporate contract blossoms into actual ownership. The emotional climax of this whole journey hits when the daughters bring their parents to a beautiful, fully owned restaurant right in the city. They hand their shocked, cheerful father the scissors to cut the ribbon. Think about that. They didn't just save their family from poverty, they literally built an empire.
Which leads us nicely into Section 6, the true family support, a father's realization.
So, this incredible rags-to-riches story ends up attracting media attention. And during a national television interview, filmed right inside their new restaurant, the father says something incredibly powerful. He publicly apologizes for his past bias. He openly admits that he gave everything to the son who abandoned him and nothing to the daughters who ultimately saved him. He tearfully acknowledges that his daughters, the ones he deliberately kept out of school, are his true, unwavering Sahara. And there's one final twist to the whole story. Sitting back in his own living room, the estranged brother, Ahsan, is watching his family's triumph unfold on television. He's finally forced to face reality. He actually admits to his wife that his sisters proved him completely wrong. He finally shows respect for the immense capability of the women he once said belonged only in the kitchen.
So, I want to leave you with this lingering thought. If society just stopped underestimating daughters, if we stopped denying them resources, education, and belief, how many more families would discover their true Sahara? This story beautifully illustrates that potential has absolutely no gender, and true support comes from character, not tradition. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this analysis challenges your own perspectives and encourages you to reconsider the boundless potential of the people in your own life. Catch you next time.